What's up guys, it's Briar here with this week's war recap, and it's another war, another win for RazeInfinity. This week we were up against a Belgian clan called Benny Clan, I think it is. And as you can see, they struggled a little bit with the 3 stars, plenty of 1 stars and 2 stars on our higher bases, but I think you've got to go right down to around where our Town Hall 8 start before you see any 3 stars. Getting down there to Joe, I think he just recently went to Town Hall 9 possibly, so that's around where they managed to get the 3 stars. On the other hand, we managed to wrap up attacks on all their bases to get the maximum clan war reward, and as you can see, plenty of 3 stars around the top, and all through down to the bottom. I think in total there's about 27 3 stars there, which isn't too bad. And I should probably apologise because I should have probably got one, but I was fooling around with healers and it didn't quite work out. And there you can see a pretty good star ratio considering we used all 80 of our attacks, and really good average destruction. You know, pretty much everyone went to the end of their battles. So another great war for us. Okay, so let's jump straight into the replays, and first up we've got Briar attacking with Hog Riders against a pretty much maxed out Town Hall 8. And this one's being shown by a special request of our dear leader Duke, so well done Briar, you must have done something to impress him. So taking a quick look at the base, you can see there's a couple of spots in the south there for double giant bombs. There's also some single giant bomb spots, and then you've got a spot up the top as well where there could be a single giant bomb. And if you take a look at the range of the clan castle, it's fairly obvious you're going to want to get the lure from the north and potentially the northeast. And what Briar does is he lures on the northernmost cannons, and that allows him to take out a defence, get the lure, and if there's a giant bomb there, trigger it, which there is. So a really good trade. Couple of hogs, and he's taken down one of the bombs and made his raid a lot easier straight away. Then he's going to use that army camp with an archer on it to lure the troops down, because nothing can target his archer from that distance. And then pretty much a standard clan castle kill using the witches and the wizard in the CC. And then he's going to start, once he's taken a few of the wizards out, he's going to start deploying his golem. And the idea here is he wants to penetrate into the bottom there and knock out a couple of the giant bombs, hopefully. Deploying his wizards to get the funnel, but luckily that hidden Tesla popped, and that actually helped funnel his golem in towards the centre. And just slowly deploying his wizards there, which I like, so they don't all hit a giant bomb at the same time. And holding off on deploying his king until there's no chance of him following the trash buildings round. So really good, very patient attack this one, which I liked. You know, it's often tempting to just throw all your troops down quickly, but Briar really waited and made everything count, so that was great. And here you can see now he's taken out the defences, so he knows his hogs aren't going to root over any giant bombs anymore. And so he can throw them in there at that point. They're not going to go underneath the town hall where clearly the last 2 giant bombs are. And then it's just a case of placing those heals. And with the base being quite compact, it's fairly easy for him to cover the base with those heals. You know, pretty much every defence that he targeted, his hogs were under a heal, and that means none of them are really going to get taken out. And from there it's a fairly simple win really, because those defences can't take the hogs down. It's really just the king, and there's far too many, they overwhelm the king. And then we're into the cleanup phase of the raid. So a really good raid, quite straightforward, you know, nothing too complex. Obviously the lure wasn't too difficult, but what was really good about that was how he made every troop count, and he was very patient in the way he deployed his troops. You know, he didn't just throw them in. You know, you could tell he'd really thought about this raid and how it was going to go down. And then we'll just speed it up now because there's nothing left that can stop his hogs, and you can see he's got loads of hogs left, and that was mainly because of the amount of heals he had covering those defences. So a really good raid, well done Briar. So next up we've got Mountain Biker, one of our most consistent raiders, with another 3 star, and I think the highest 3 star on the map in this war, so well done. And again, I think I featured him in last week's video. He's just really dismantled this base, you know, spotted the weakness and totally taken it to pieces. So there you can see the range of the clan castle, and the lure's probably going to come from the south. But what Mountain does is he's noticed that all of the air defences are centralised, so it's fairly easy for him to deploy a couple of balloons per defence and just trade them out 1 for 1. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it way easier for him to hog this base, because the hogs, first off, they're going to go to the centre, but also, as you can see, it's a very compact centre, so there's no chance they're going to root over any giant bombs if you can take out a lot of these outer defences. And you can see there, deploying the southern balloons second so that he hadn't got the clan castle troops chasing him round, getting those northern defences first, then getting the southern ones and getting the lure. And then once those last few balloons go down, he's going to bring them off to the corner here where there's no defences in range. And it's a really good place here to create a funnel from as well. I always like funneling if there's some army camps, because if you knock those army camps out, you've created a huge hole in the ring of defences, whereas you would probably have to knock out maybe like 5 or 6 mines to achieve the same size gap. And then using those wall breakers to get his golem inside, and you can see as well he's also brought a jump spell, so that's going to take him in to take out the queen, which is obviously essential if you're going to hog a base. And from there, pretty much all the defences are concentrated in the centre, so he can afford to use that jump spell, you know, sacrifice one of his spell spots, because he only needs to be able to heal over perhaps 2 different spots here with defences. And then backing up his kill squad there by dropping in the hogs. And at this point he's being very patient, because it would be tempting I suppose to drop a heal there, but was kind of pointless until he'd at least taken a few hits. Then once they're under a bit of pressure, drop in the first heal, and that's the last of the outer defences down. As you can see, they haven't gone round any kind of hog ring, and then the centre he can cover with just 1 heal, which he drops near the Teslas, which obviously is a good idea because they're very high DPS, and then dropping that rage as well just to make it even quicker. I think he pretty much would have had this in the bag without that rage spell, unless time was against him, but he'd done such a good job dismantling the base, he probably didn't need all of his spells. And now it's just into the cleanup phase. A really good job, because there was a few guys with this base, and I attacked it as well, and I thought it was quite tough, particularly with that ring of collectors and things around the centre. Made it quite a difficult cleanup job, so a really good raid, well done. Okay, last up for this video I wanted to show an attack by Lil, and it's basically a gowiwi attack, but with back-end balloons, and it ties in nicely with something I was talking about I think last week, when I was saying how there was ways of turning the gowiwi 2-star strategy into a 3-star by using a back-end troop. So yeah, in this case balloons, but obviously talked about using hogs as well. And just taking a look here, you can see there's the queen that needs taken out. You've also got the centralised air defences, so once those troops get in the centre, they're probably going to take out the air defences, and that makes balloons a good option for dropping in the back end. And then you can see the 2 areas where the funnel's going to be created by destroying with wizards. And with it being quite an open base in the centre, it is a good choice for golems, because there's not too many walls for them to contend with. And I like this lure as well. I like using a giant to soak up some of the point defences so that the hog can get in and get the lure. I think, you know, might only save you sort of 5 troop spaces, but it's always worth it. Then bringing those troops round to the corner where the gowiwi is going to start from, because I guess you might as well, you're going to deploy some witches to take out the defensive clan castle, so they may as well be from the correct starting point. And I like how the king doesn't go down at this point, you know, using those skeletons to tank the shots from the defensive wizards. And then creating that funnel and making it nice and wide by dropping the golems right out on the outside there and the wizards. And what that does as well is takes out loads of the trash buildings, you know, so it helps with the cleanup later, because there's a lot less buildings to clean up. And I'm sometimes guilty of making my funnel a bit too narrow. You know, I'm too focused on getting into the centre, when if you're deploying that many wizards, you might as well take out a whole load of defences, you know, at the same time. And then the jump spell goes down to let the troops into the middle. And there's not too much point defence in the middle actually, so although it looks like a tough centre, it's a lot of splash damage, and things like a golem and the heroes are going to deal with that pretty well. So now at this point it's just a case of waiting for those defences to go down, and then the balloons can start to drop in as well. And you can see once the troops get in the middle, it's pretty much over at this stage. Plenty of spells to keep them going, taking out this going through his defences really quickly. And once the next air defence gets targeted, you'll see Lil starts to deploy some balloons now. And what that's going to do is prevent these point defences from shooting inwards and taking out the king and queen and finishing off the golem. And that's the point where a lot of raids would stall, you know, because you've got into the middle, but then you've got no way of getting back out again. You've got to fight through those walls. You've got no wall breakers that can get in there. You perhaps haven't got a jump spell. So what the balloons have done there is save the king and queen, take out the last few defences, and that means also there's plenty of troops left for the cleanup, and then just speeding it up because it's a pretty simple cleanup from this point. Not much left because the wizards has done such a good job at the start there. So that's going to wrap it up for now. I'll record another video soon and be back with you, but thanks for watching everyone. And don't forget, if you want a certain raid featuring, just let myself or Duke know and I'll do my best to fit it in. Thanks again, and good luck in the midweek war.